Welcome to this explainer. Right now, if you're building anything serious with AI, you've slammed into the exact same wall as every other engineer on the planet. You've got powerful models on one side, and your tools, your data, and your APIs on the other, and connecting them cleanly is an absolute nightmare. Every integration is custom. Every model expects something slightly different. And the moment an API changes or a model gets swapped, the whole thing shatters. This is what's known as the M by N integration problem. And today we're decoding the open standard built to solve it once and for all, the Model Context Protocol. Let's kick things off with Section 1. Section 1, the problem. Picture this. You have M different AI applications and N different tools or data sources you want them to reach. To wire them together the old way, you need M times N separate integrations. 10 applications and 10 tools isn't 20 connectors. It's 100 brittle, hand-built bridges that you personally have to write, test, and maintain forever. Scale that to a real company, and the math becomes frankly terrifying. It simply does not scale. Let that sink in. Section 2, the analogy. The cleanest way to understand MCP is to think of it as the USB-C port for AI. Rewind a few years. Every device had its own proprietary cable, chaos in every drawer. Then USB-C arrived, and suddenly one universal connector powered your laptop, your phone, and your headphones. MCP does precisely that for artificial intelligence. It's a single open standard, introduced by Anthropic in late 2024, that lets any compliant model talk to any tool through one consistent interface. You go from M times N integrations down to just M plus N. That is the entire revolution in one sentence. Section 3, the architecture. MCP defines three core roles, and you need to know all three cold. First, the host. That's the application the user actually interacts with, like an AI assistant, a chat app, or a coding IDE. Second, living inside that host, the client, a component whose only job is to manage one dedicated, stateful connection to a server. And third, the server, a lightweight program that exposes one specific capability to the model. Whether that's access to your Postgres database, your local file system, or the GitHub API. One host can run many clients, and each client is wired to its own server. Clean separation, every time. Section 4, the primitives. This is where MCP gets powerful. Every server can expose three distinct things to the model, tools. These are actions the model can actually invoke, like query the database, send an email, or create a pull request. Resources. These are pieces of data the model can read, like a document, a config file, or a database record. And prompts, reusable templates that guide the model on how to handle a specific kind of task. Critically, every single one of these ships with metadata describing what it does, what inputs it needs, and what it returns. So the model discovers what's available at runtime. It is never hard-coded to a fixed list of endpoints. Section 5, the request flow. Let's make this concrete and walk one real request straight through the diagram. A user asks their AI assistant to summarize last week's sales numbers. The host immediately spins up a client. That client opens a connection to the database server. The server advertises its available tools, and the model sees one called Query Sales, selects it, and sends structured arguments, the date range it needs. The server executes the query against the real database, returns the rows, and the model transforms that raw data into a clean, human-readable summary. Notice what just happened. The developer wired up exactly one server, and every capability beyond that was discovered automatically. Zero custom glue code. Section 6, why this actually matters. The same way HTTP unified the web and USB-C unified our devices, MCP is now unifying how AI systems talk to the entire outside world. It replaces a tangled mess of brittle one-off integrations with a single, open, reusable protocol that any model and any tool can speak. For backend engineers, this is the shift to watch. Very soon, making your services MCP aware is going to be as routine as exposing a REST endpoint is today. And if you're prepping for a backend or system design interview, understanding this architecture cold is exactly the kind of forward-looking knowledge that sets you apart from every other candidate. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.